Hey folks, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing some more summer maintenance. This is a Cork Bark Elm that I've been working on for a couple of years now. You might have seen this one or a different one in some of my other videos, but a really neat thing about this tree is that it came from Telperion Farms, which, if you don't know, was a bonsai nursery, I believe out in Oregon somewhere, that had a fire a few years back. So this tree was kind of saved from the remnants of that, along with a few others that ended up at First Branch. You might have seen those in some previous videos. But yeah, this one is mine, and up until now, I've really been pruning this tree, thinking of it as a mother tree. I wanted to be able to air layer off sections that were more promising as bonsai, like if they could just be scaled down, and a few of those have been taken off at this point. Up this way, I did break this branch, unfortunately. I believe that was last year. The tree had been in a bit of a neglected state, and I was trying to wire it, tried to push it farther than I could, but thankfully I stopped before the snap was too bad, and just put some cut paste over it, and just kind of letting it run its course. It feels like that union is a lot sturdier than it was, but the cut paste doesn't really look that deteriorated yet, so I'm thinking I should leave it a while longer. So I'm using some freshly cleaned and sanitized scissors, and I'm going to start just kind of coming through and pruning to 2. This is going to be a little bit of a hard reset for the tree. Or not a hard reset, but we're really taking it back. And I want to think about maximizing what is there. So some things I'm thinking about while I'm coming through with the scissors is that I want to have branches coming off on alternate sides. So coming off the left side of having a secondary left branch, and then one come off the right side, branch continues on. And we want it to kind of alternate and stagger in a fairly even manner. But then in spots where I have lots of growth points coming out, my first picks to remove with the scissors are anything that's going to be growing straight up or straight down. And then if I still have some options, I'm going to start looking for some good movement and think about which one would really continue on the But then I'm coming through on the tips and counting back the leaves to 2 leaves, making a snip there. What that does is it helps kind of reset that growth point, and when we come through and do this pretty heavily, it encourages another push of growth. But with elms, the leaves are alternating, so it'll come out on either side. So something I am thinking about when I look at it is if there are, like say my second leaf would be oriented inside of the crown, I'm just going to go to the next leaf up, so that whatever bud forms isn't encouraged to grow into a crowded space. So one of the benefits of coming back and chopping these little side branches off to the 2 growth points is that it really starts to kind of multiply your foliage over time. Like you can start filling in these nice, thick, dense paths over the course of a couple seasons. Now, I don't have the time to do any wiring today, so I will be saving that work for another day. Oh goodness. Excuse me. Can I have some water? Okay. I'm also paying attention to any weak interior growth I come across here. I don't want to let the tree waste its resources on something like crotch growth. No, I don't want to reach across that. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Now's a great time to keep an eye out for any signs of pests like spider mites or fungal issues, so that you can start course correcting if you need to. And I will say, can y'all even see this leaf? I'll wait a little bit to talk about this leaf. Because I'm sure there's going to be more, but I suspect I might have a fungal issue going on with this tree. So I should probably start treating for that in the near future. Thankfully, the last couple of days haven't been so intense heat-wise. It's actually been a pretty busy couple of days for me. I got engaged over the weekend, which was exciting, you know, because we've been planning a wedding for some time now, and we had decided not really to do the engagement thing and just kind of put the money towards building a future we could both be proud of. So I was really caught off guard. It was unexpected, and I think that made it all the more exciting. We were down at the Renaissance Festival when they did it, and yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited. The next few months are going to be kind of scary and nerve-wracking, but I don't think I could have anyone better by my side than I do. And so I'm still just coming back and counting out 2 or 3 leaves and finding the exterior leaf, chopping it back. If I'm coming across any crotch growth, going ahead and snipping that so that we don't get any swelling we don't want. And any spots that had been cut back and allowed to die back, I'm just going ahead and snipping as well. Oh hey, it looks like somebody's joined the stream. I'm Jamie, and just working on a funky little Cork Bark Elm. Hope you're having a good day. I'm just kind of relaxing. Now, I don't know how long you've been practicing bonsai, but right now I'm just kind of coming through and pruning all of my growth to forks and trying to really chase things in, coming back, removing any weak growth that's not really contributing, growing in the wrong spot. Yeah. So anyways, I think I was talking about getting engaged. I was also talking about the fact that there's a fungal issue with this tree, I'm definitely going to have to start treatment. Deadwood. So I'm still just coming through and snipping to 2 leaves on all my little side branches. Sometimes 3 to make sure that the new buds are going to grow out away from the crown. And I'm snipping any spots that have been allowed to die back from the last pruning. I'm also keeping an eye out for any weak interior growth. I don't want to waste any resources after today's styling. We want to be able to bounce back and get a nice quality second flush. The third flush, this is the second time it's being pruned this summer. And I'm seeing more and more symptoms of a fungal issue, or signs. So I'm going to have to do a treatment on this tree moving forward. But cleaning out some of this interior growth for light and airflow is really going to help the tree moving forward. Just had no value. Two, 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 seven. Crotch growth. There we go. Gotta clean this out a little bit. It's too crowded through here. Gotta chase that back a hair. That one to 3. Well, hey, I see somebody's joined. Hope you're having a good day. I'm just coming through and thinning out this Chinese maple. Hope you're having a nice day. So I'm thinking about a couple things with my pruning right now. Part of it is just removing some spots that have been allowed to die back from previous pruning. I'm also removing crotch growth, weak interior growth, and in general, just pruning for bifurcation. I had been taking a lot of air layers from this tree, but now my goal is to clean it up and really start working it as a broom style. So that started earlier this year after I separated some of those air layers. And now I'm just kind of coming through and keeping up with it. Cut that pretty hard. Now, if you want to use the chat at all, I'll gladly go back and forth. If you have any questions about Chinese elm, I'll try and field them or point you towards a good resource if I know it. So I am starting to really think about bar branching and making sure that the stuff I'm keeping is going to contribute to good taper of the branching. But in general, I think I do really want to compact it quite a bit. So I'm personally quaffling if I'm going to do another round of air layering next year. Just so I can kind of restart a little closer to the main trunk. We'll see how that goes. That is a future decision. Now, when I have lots of side branches coming off of a branch, I need to make sure that I'm pruning so that they're coming up alternate sides of that side branch, which will contribute to that good taper. Interior growth. All that's alternating. There. Two. Two. Three. Interior growth. Okay, that looks good. That's weak interior growth. That's a punch growth. Crotch growth. I'm just gonna move to here now. Prune to 2. Weak interior growth. Weak interior growth. Right side, left side. Weak interior growth. Okay, so there's good alternation going on here. That's great to see. And I'm coming back and just pruning to either 2 or 3 leaves. Ideally, I want whichever leaf I prune to be oriented outside and away from the crown of the tree. So that's kind of what I'm using to decide which node to cut back to. And I'm trying to leave just a little bit of space for some dieback. But I'm also trying to really clean up and thin things out so I can get some better airflow. I appear to be battling a fungal issue, and that's really going to help me get that in check. Now, if you have any questions about Chinese elm, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of keep rambling about what I'm up to over here. Now, I am trying to style this as a broom, so I really am trying to think about good bifurcation and making sure that I'm starting to get, really close, dense forks. And by coming back and doing this a couple times this season, it helps me maintain nice short internodes and a nice small leaf size. In the wintertime, I'll come through and possibly do some harder chopping, but the peak of summer is not such a great time for that, because right now the tree's water needs are pretty high. But that will be lessened to some extent after such a hard prune today. Crotch growth. Oops. There we go. Okay. This is a spot that was allowed to die back. To 3. It's 2. And I'm gonna get that out for some airflow. Okay. And I'll chop that back a bit for airflow. Bring back down here. Come to 2. This was allowed to die back. Come to 2. Come to 3. Oops. Come to 3. This may be kind of silly, but one thing I really appreciate about bonsai is, it kind of invites us to be stewards of trees and nature. So just kind of out of frame over this way, I'm reusing a pretty beat up shipping box, actually. Just, to go ferry all the scraps out later. Crotch growth. Front 3. So I'll put that back. Die back. And that's growing on the bottom. Die back. Oh, hey. Not sure if we picked up some new viewers here, but if you've got any questions or anything you want to chat about, please just feel free to throw it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rambling about my styling here. But in case you just got here, I am trying to prune this tree for good bifurcation and get some really compact branching going on. My goal is to ultimately have this as a broom style, but it's got a ways to go. it's probably time for this guy wire to go, for instance. It did a good job of pulling this branch down, but the tree was in a pretty neglected state when I first started working on it, so kind of compacting everything has been one of my goals. But up until this year, I've been treating it as a mother tree, so propagating from it, so I can have more trees. And now that I got a few things going from her, I think it's time that we start developing her as her own tree, you know? And I'm really excited to see that evolution. But that means I'm coming through and starting to really think about the value of the side branches that I have, make sure they're going to contribute to good taper, and that they're kind of in line, in silhouette with where we're ultimately going to take her. Moving on. Actually, I'm right here. I'll just go ahead and get this off. So for the guy wire, we drove a bamboo stake into the soil and just used some copper to kind of make a stop, which really helped with getting at least a little bit of movement in this branch. I'm going to be surprised if anything else is able to be squeezed out of it. But I kind of suspect that the wound here is where my fungal issue originated, because it did snap last year when we were retightening the guy wire. Gonna keep that chopstick though. It can be reused. Okay. Nice thing about spinning it for a moment is you see something you might have missed a moment ago. Oh, look at that. That's cute. Okay. Onto this branch. Now, it does have a really good fork out this way, so I will keep this one. It's going to make a nice little interior pad, I think. But then I'm going to start coming through, cleaning up some of my dieback. Get that cleaned up a little bit. And take out the weak interior growth that's popped up. I'm also making sure that I'm pruning so that I have nice, strong forks. As many as I can cultivate across the tree over time is kind of the goal here. But if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the chat. Ooh. Bam. Sweet save. Okay, so weak interior growth. Crotch growth. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. Prune to 2. And another benefit of doing this is it's going to help redistribute some of the growth hormone that's gathering in all these tips. so that hopefully we get a nice, even little push of new growth. Hey, I seen somebody new has joined the stream. How are you doing today? Having a pretty great day myself. You know, our cat's doing a little bit better after her surgery. It's not so hot outside, and I got quite a bit done in the garden this morning. And yeah, I think here soon I will have to get off and go make lunch. It's been super nice hanging out with you guys. Much growth. Trade off. Print to 2. Print to 2. Trash. Print to 2. Oh. Two. Two. Okay, so this branch is starting to feel pretty good. I think I've just got this back corner. And I'm still just coming through and pruning for good bifurcation and pruning all the shoots back to 2 or 3 leaves so that whatever little bud, little leaf is left is oriented outside of the crown so that hopefully future growth will kind of grow out and away from the inside. It'll just kind of help with the airflow issues I've been having. I'm also coming through removing any weak interior growth or any crotch growth. But saving any big chops for the winter time. If you have any questions, I'm happy to chat with you. Or if you want me to change up the music, let me know. Just kind of vibing. Weak interior growth. 2. Prune to 2. This is allowed to die down. And then prune to 3. And I'll call this interior growth. Okay. It's starting to feel a lot nicer over here. Okay, turn to our prune to 2. Crotch growth. Prune to 2. Okay. And then we got. Wait, want to look at this to make sure it's going to alternate. So this one goes. There we go. And then prune to 2. Prune to 3. Prune to 3. Trash. Give me just a moment, I'm gonna adjust the camera. So, I do have to go soon so I can make some lunch for my partner. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to doing some weeding before I'm done for the day. I will have to finish my pruning some other time. But if you have any questions, want to chat with me, feel free to jump in chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to be here waiting. Need a little bit of water first, actually. Okay, so just off screen here, I am reusing an old shipping box for my little natural scraps today. Actually, I'm just gonna use this chopstick for my own. See, I told you it's reusable. I do have a fun little blend of local mosses going on in here, which is nice. But some of the other stuff I'm not so excited for, and thankfully, I don't seem to have any of that accursed, vile Irish moss. Weeding out Irish moss is an endless chore sometimes. Okay, so that one will definitely need the chopstick. So I'm trying as best as I can to just grab the weed. You kind of get a feel for what weeds you can do with your fingers and which one will require some tools. And I don't want to speak too much about that because I'm sure, A, I don't even know what they're called, but B, you probably deal with different ones. And yeah. Well, this little clover looking stuff can definitely go. And I'm trying to gently put the moss back when I'm done. Maybe I should clear out some of the moss that's close to my trunk because I have been having some fungal issues, and that'll really help things air out a bit. So I'm going to use my chopstick here. Actually, I'm going to get a good point on this just a moment. Okay, so I just kind of brought that chopstick to a nice little point, and I'm going to use that to get into these little spaces, start pulling this shaggy moss away from the trunk, and it's also going to help me kind of work on this top little surface area and get all this little clover out as well. So moss is kind of taking over the roots in this spot, so I think that might be contributing pretty significantly to the fungal problem, and with a cork bark especially, I want to stay on top of that because already my bark is decaying. So trying to get this bad moss out and away. Oh, wow, look at that. There's even a slug hiding out in here. We'll have to do some sluggo in here. I don't want to go poking around in here too much. So I'm sure at some point there's going to be live roots. But I think all this bark is lost, and this does look like decaying bark popping off. It's actually kind of cool. It looks like it was rooting through its own decaying bark. I'm not sure how well you can see that. But getting some of this moss off should help slow that down. You definitely need to start an antifungal treatment though. I'm gonna scoop this stuff out. It's a shame to have lost all that corky goodness. Oh Lord, no. Okay, so I'm just about done for the day. I'm going to finish pruning this and getting the rest of the weeds out later in the week, but I do want to get this big weed and the spider nest with it out before I call it done for the day. So I'm using my chopstick because this type of weed does, ooh, God, scared me. That spider web is so much bigger than I thought it was. Ooh, I'm good. This type of weed roots deep, so I'm trying to make sure I've got a good grip on it, and I want to start trying to just gently work it loose by the roots without damaging the roots of my elm here. Like so. Now, there's a good possibility I missed some of that stem, so it's probably going to come back. But for now, at least, it's kind of stunted. And I'm just going to use my chopstick to clean out the spider web. Get some airflow in here. That should really help with the fungal issues. And before I stop today, I'm just gonna go and give the pot a good wipe down. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've just got oh, hey, I see somebody's just joined the stream. I am wrapping up in just a moment, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to chat bonsai with you. Right now, I was just trying to take a moment to make sure I'm doing the work that this tree needs. I do have to stop and take a break, but sometime in the next couple days, there will be another stream where I finish up. I did some scissor work and some weeding today. And that definitely needs to be finished in the near future so everything's nice and balanced. I tackled about half the foliage, half the branching up in the crown, and about half the weeding there is to do. Well, If you enjoyed yourself, please hit like, subscribe, and share. It's been a blast, y'all.